Hi folks, it's Carl. As you can see, I'm about to teach a pretty big sushi class. But I get a question all the time in every single class. I get asked this. Is this wasabi? Is it real? Is it fake? What is real wasabi? What is fake wasabi? Well, in this video, let's talk about it. What is wasabi?
If I'm not careful, I could get crazy with this topic, but I'm not going to. I'm going to intentionally edit this video until I get it down to a reasonable length. If you love sushi, you know what this is. It's wasabi. And even if you don't like sushi, or you don't even eat it often, I'm sure you've heard of it. But like most people, you don't know very much about it. Well, give me this opportunity to share some info with you, and you'll learn more than you probably want to know. A tidbit of wasabi history. It is said that wasabi first came to be cultivated in the early Edo period around 1603. Nigiri sushi became popular in Tokyo, and wasabi was a garnish. So it's nothing new to the world of sushi or Japan. It's been around for more than 400 years. Simply put, wasabi is a type of Japanese horseradish. It's not the horseradish that you and I are familiar with in America. It's different. Oddly enough, it is in the horseradish and mustard family. Now, there are quite a few kinds of wasabi these days, but I'll keep it basic for you. There's hon wasabi, which is a Japanese native wasabi. And under the hon wasabi classification, there are two categories of farmed wasabi. Sawa wasabi, that is grown in irrigated stream beds, and hatake wasabi, that is grown in a field similar to carrots or radishes. And when it comes to growing real wasabi successfully, it's tricky. The conditions have to be perfect. Just the right soil, just the right amount of shade, just enough irrigation without drowning the stems, and specific nutrients. And once you perfected the ideal ecosystem, wasabi will thrive. When I was in Portland, Oregon not that long ago, one wasabi farmer said to me, "If you get everything just right, it grows like bamboo." There's also different types of wasabi that are grown throughout Japan and the USA. For example, there's a fantastic wasabi farm in Oregon, right along the coastline, that produces a beautiful product. And yet, in different areas of Japan, where wasabi farming began, several different farms produce different crops of varying color, texture, flavor, and potency. It's important to note that real wasabi isn't as hot as common green horseradish that you're probably used to. Real wasabi tends to be a fresher flavor, a clean but fragrant scent, and slightly sweeter. Common sushi bar wasabi, like this, isn't real wasabi. It's a mixture of horseradish, dry mustard, and green food coloring. So common sushi bars provide artificial wasabi. It's cheap to produce, it's complimentary with every sushi meal, and since very few American sushi eaters even know the difference, they don't spend the cash on the real stuff. Now, if you walk through any Asian food section of a common grocery store, you'll see blended wasabi products including concentrates, emulsified roots, powders, sauces, and pastes. When I searched the stores, I found 5 types and 17 different name brands, but there may be more. There's also wasabi-flavored peanuts and peas and popcorn and even nori snacks, but this is wasabi paste, and this is wasabi powder. Wasabi paste is made of different things like oil and sugar, horseradish, salt, water, and a little bit of ground real wasabi. Wasabi powder is simply a mixture of things like ground horseradish, spirulina, which is a blue-green algae, turmeric, and green food coloring. What most people don't know is that wasabi is usually a part of traditional nigiri sushi. The sushi chef will add a little dab of wasabi underneath the fish or veggie, attaching it to the rice. And most sushi lovers have experienced something I call the wasabi rush. Ever eat too much wasabi and it feels like it's burning your nasal cavity? That's because wasabi contains a chemical compound called allyl isothiocyanate, which stimulates the nerve receptors in your mouth and on your tongue. The vapors from the chemical travel through your mouth into your nasal cavity, prompting that familiar burning feeling in your sinuses. And if you simply drink a beverage, it will drown out the wasabi, dilute the potency, and rapidly stop the vapors traveling to your nose. When I'm out of real wasabi and I want to treat myself to a little seasoning in my cooking, I use an awesome recipe that I learned from Master Chef Daisuke Watanabe when I spent some time in Kyoto, Japan back in 2007. Mix together 2 teaspoons of horseradish, 1 teaspoon of stone ground mustard, 1 chopped anchovy, and a few drops of soy sauce. It is fantastic. One day, you gotta give it a try. Now, if you want the real thing, real wasabi, you can purchase the roots online, or you can purchase stems and grow it over time in your own garden. But I'm telling you right now, without the right soil, irrigation, and shade, it will not grow. You need the ideal soil, irrigation, shade, and climate to grow it well. And when you have mastered the perfect combo of stems, soil, and sunshine, and water, it will grow like crazy. Now, as you know, I'm a sushi instructor, and I purchase lots of actual wasabi from Japan. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, I purchased a giant shipment of fresh cut root from Shimane, Japan. And when I work with real wasabi, I use a knife and a small wasabi grater. In Japan, they're called shark skin graters because the texture of the grater resembles the skin of a shark. Simply explained, you remove the thick outer skin from the root and slowly rotate the bottom of the root onto the grater, and a fresh, legit wasabi paste will emulsify right in front of you. A few recommendations. Unless you really need real wasabi root, the paste and powders work fine. Real wasabi root is expensive. During my last trip to Japan, it was $98 per pound. But if you want to try the real thing, go to an upscale sushi establishment and request it from the sushi bar. They'll probably have it, but keep in mind, it won't be free. Again, this stuff isn't cheap, and the restaurant will probably charge you to get reimbursed for their investment. So take my advice and stick to the common stuff that you're probably used to. However, if you do feel adventurous, a single portion of the real wasabi from your local sushi bar is worth it. Give it a taste, and if you can, compare it to common sushi bar wasabi that you're used to using. You might be surprised at the difference in taste and texture while appreciating the options you may have never considered before.
If you have any questions whatsoever, this is my email. This is my main sushi class website. This is my Instagram. You got any questions, you know how to contact me. Until next time.